Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Spence here at Core 4x4, and I am so excited. We are finally in our new studio, and this is the first video we're doing. So in honor of being in a brand new studio, I thought I'd bring an old rusty Jeep and start putting parts on it. So today we're gonna do an adjustable front track bar, our camp series, on this old TJ, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is our camp series adjustable track bar for the Jeep Wrangler TJ. Now the TJ is model years from 1997 to 2006. It's kind of the, in my mind, the iconic Wrangler. So this is an adjustable front track bar, and like all our camp series and crawl series products, we do build this with 5/16 wall DOM tubing. So as you can see, compared to the factory, it's quite a bit thicker and robust. Now, the Jeep we have in the shop today is at factory height, and you can install our track bars and our control arms at factory height, but we will be putting a lift on this Jeep in the next video, so we're gonna kind of account for that during the install. Now, before we get into the install, I did want to talk about the process a little bit on this track bar. It's a very simple install. It's really just 2 bolts, but if you notice on the factory track bar here, this has a ball joint at the frame side. And on ours, we have the Johnny Joint. So that is gonna be replaced with this bolt. And we do provide the drill bit and the bolt to modify the frame side bracket. So there is a little bit of drilling with this install. And like I said, we do provide the drill bit. So you don't need to go out and get any extra tools. You just need to have a drill handy. And I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. So let's get the Jeep on the lift and get this installed. All right, so we got the Jeep in the air, and I wanted to take a minute and talk about the role of the track bar in your Jeep suspension. Now, the track bar is this piece that goes here from your frame down to your axle side, and is literally the only thing that holds your axle centered under the Jeep left to right. Now, when you lift the Jeep and take the body up, your axle is further away from the frame, and so it pulls and shifts your whole axle to the driver's side. And that's why you need an adjustable track bar when you're lifting a Jeep. And as I said before, you can install the track bar on a factory Jeep if you just want a better, more robust option, or if your factory bar is worn out, or if you just like the red color. So as your track bar wears out, and if you get play in your ball joint or in your bushing end here, it can contribute to things like death wobble or wandering on the road, because your steering is fighting against the track bar as you're maneuvering around. So if you're having any of those issues, you might want to check your track bar and look at getting it replaced. This track bar is the original track bar, so it probably has some wear and tear on it. And again, like I said, we are going to be putting a small lift on this Jeep, so I just wanted to put an adjustable track bar on. So yeah, let's get into teardown. Again, it's just 2 bolts, and we'll show you how to mod the frame side bracket. Okay, so now that we got the old track bar out, we do need to drill out our frame side bracket like I talked about. So we're just gonna set up here, and we're gonna try to drill just as straight up as we can. It's really important not to wallow out the hole, so try to keep your drill straight as you're doing this, so we have a nice tight fit on the bolt. And then we'll get this bolted up. So really it's that easy to drill out this frame side mount. Now we're gonna bolt it up with the 5/8 bolt provided in the kit. We are gonna torque this side down to 150 foot-pounds because it's a nice big bolt and we wanna make sure it's seated. The axle side, we're gonna torque down to 60 foot-pounds. There's no way. That's like 18 inches of water. I'll go get another one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, our fancy Core 4x4 grate has claimed its first victim. I knew we were gonna lose a lot of bolts with this storm drain, but you know, we had to have it. So we gotta go get another washer for this. So now we're back at it. There we go. Sweet. Okay, so we got the frame side on and torqued down. We're gonna move to the axle side. But if you notice when I removed the factory bar, the whole axle shifted over, and that's because we have the weight of the axle drooped and the steering linkage pulling on everything. So as we took that bar off, it shifted over, so we're not gonna quite line up over here. We're gonna be off a little bit. So I'm gonna show you a trick of how to line this up with your Jeep on the ground. You'll just use the steering wheel to shift your body over the axle to line this up to install it. Now I did adjust it out a little bit because we are putting a lift on this in the next video. So we're not gonna mess with centering the axle now, but after we do the lift. Now on the axle side, you can reuse your factory hardware. They do stretch, they do rust, they do break down. We do offer a hardware kit on there, so if you select that option, you will get new hardware for the axle side. The frame side does come with the bolt and the drill bit. So we're gonna get this lubed up a little bit. We're gonna drop it on the ground. We're gonna bolt it in and torque it down, and that'll be it for our install. Just gonna stick a screw in here so we can hold this as we go to the ground. So now that it's grease, it wants to fall out. Okay, so we added a little grease to the axle side. Put a little screw in there so it doesn't fall out as we put the Jeep back on the ground. Now I'm gonna put a couple pumps into the Johnny Joint. They do get assembled with grease, so they are fine to just be installed and go. You do wanna grease them every 10 to 15,000 miles, but we always top them off when we install. You just don't wanna go too crazy, especially with the pneumatic gun, because you can blow out that urethane coupler that's inside the Johnny Joint, and you don't wanna do that because then you'll have to rebuild it. Okay, so the trick to installing any track bar and doing it correctly without using ratchet straps or prying on the track bar is to use a friend and use the steering wheel to line up your bolt holes. So Marissa's gonna jump in the Jeep, she's gonna turn the steering wheel back and forth, and you're gonna see that it'll shift the body over the axle, and in turn it'll shift the track bar in the bracket so we can line up and get our bolts in easily. So here we go. All right, go ahead and turn it one way. Yeah, that way. Keep going. Hold on a sec. Wiggle the steering wheel. There you go. Okay. Yeah, you're good. All right, well, so now that we have the bolt in, we're gonna finish getting this nut tab lined up. So that wraps it up for our install of our Camp Series TJ front track bar. Now we are going to recheck the torque after about 200 or 300 miles of driving. You really want to let those bolts seat and then re-torque everything. Again, 65 foot-pounds on the axle side and 150 foot-pounds on the frame side. Now the jam nut is also 200 foot-pounds. We didn't show that in the video, but you make sure you torque your jam nut down and recheck them after the first couple hundred miles. Now, I did want to take a second and say, stay tuned. Now that we have the new studio, we are going to be doing a lot of new content on the TJ here. We're going to do a small lift kit in the next video, but we also have our JK and JL long arms, which we are going to be installing on the company Jeeps, and we're doing a video for those. And I want to take a second and say thank you guys for all your support. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out, and we'll see you in the next one.